Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me. We're waiting for Heather. She's having computer issues, but I figured I didn't want to have you wait any longer. She's fixing them. I'm going to go on YouTube as well, so I have you on my computer down here, and I can see your comments as well. It's just easier to type back on the computer. It's a little complicated on the phone, which is what I'm using to film right now. So. And today we are talking about the Disney World Marathon. Yay! Who's excited? Yeah, so if you have any questions, if you're like curious about our training or anything like that, just let us know. Obviously, we're here to answer any questions you might have. And she is still trying to get in. So hopefully she gets in quickly and she can join us. Okay, so I just noticed that when I type, if I text Heather on my phone, things stop on the computer. So apologies for that. Yeah, and I'm going to tap on the chat so you guys can read this in case you are on your you're on your computer and don't have audio on, because I know some of you might be working right now. So Heather is on it. She's trying to fix it, and we are going to just chat a little bit. Thank you so much for joining this live stream. And if you're here, I'm going to assume you have an interest in the Disney World Marathon. This is my first one. Heather has run it before. I think she ran it back in like 2015, 2016. So we did actually a video on it. Like I did an interview with her and she talked about um, the marathon. I think she's here. She's here. Okay.
Hi.
There you are. How are you?
I'm good. My computer kept freezing up on me.
Oh, I figured you were having like a major computer computer problem. So I wanted to start because I didn't want people to think that we were not going live. How are you today?
Right.
How are you doing?
Good. Just got in from a run and it started raining right at the end. So,
Oh, cool. It's raining
yeah.
here too. I did an interval run yesterday, which I have a video coming up tomorrow with the interval. It's gonna be my last one. I'm not doing it anymore. So, but
Yeah, I'm
I
doing
want.
intervals tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I wanted to get something like, you know, how your legs, um, I don't know, they feel better when you give them that little bit of
Oh,
speed.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, they feel happy. So, yeah. So how have your holidays been?
Busy. Yeah. Because I have family here. My
Oh,
parents live
wow.
here in my neighborhood, and my husband's parents were his mom lives like 30 minutes out of town, and so going back and forth between sets of grandparents for the kids to see.
That's awesome, though. Having
Yeah.
family close is it's great. And obviously, when
Hmm.
you need them,
Oh
they're,
yeah.
you know, when they need you, you're there, and when you need
Yeah.
them, they're there too. So
Yeah.
it's
My
super
parents have
convenient.
been great about watching the kids when I need to go get a run sometimes.
Great.
Hmm.
So I know that you are. I wanted to talk a little bit about like you know, like how we've been training
Hmm.
and trying to think about logistics for like more specific logistics, because we already did another video on logistics in general, but more like weather and things like that. So let's
Hmm.
talk about the training. How have you been training these last weeks?
I've been keeping pretty much my regular training. I do. 5Ks, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday, Thursday, I focus on like 10Ks or tempo runs. And then on Thursdays, it's always either hills or speed. And then Saturday is my long run day, and Sunday is recovery. And so I've gotten up to, I went up to 18 miles for my
Wow.
longest run. Took it back to 10 miles this last weekend and probably 5 miles this weekend. And then I'll just do like maybe a 30-minute run the day before the marathon.
Right. That was going to be another question because you're heading there way before I do. I'm flying on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm crossing fingers that my flight is not canceled because there's been a lot of cancellations lately.
Yeah, my
Um,
parents are facing the same thing. They may have a flight that's canceled, in which case they said, we're just going to drive.
right. That's where I'm at right now. If I had, because I'm flying from Philadelphia. I have like different, so I'm flying out of Philadelphia and I'm flying back home to a
Hmm.
local airport. Flying out there is when obviously I want to get there in time to get the bib and get settled and all of that. So I'm flying Friday morning. If that flight gets canceled, because I'm flying out of Philadelphia, there's opportunities for other flights
Hmm.
to, fly me to Orlando. But if that doesn't pan out, I'm just driving. I told
Right.
my husband, I'm just going to drive all 15 hours to Orlando. So, because I've been hearing that what the airlines are doing is just returning the money. I book the trip there with points, and then on the way
Hmm.
back, because I'm flying to a local airport, it's a $65 flight.
Yeah.
I don't want them to. I mean, that's in the big scheme of things. I mean, it's money; everything counts.
Yeah.
But $65 in the big scheme of things, how much going to Disney costs, it's not a
Right.
big deal. So I want them to fly me back, but that's going to be an issue because it's a local airport and there's only like 3 flights from
Right.
Orlando to that local airport. So it's going to be interesting. The way back could be an adventure.
Right.
Yeah, I mean they could fly me somewhere else, but yeah, that's something that actually concerns me a little bit because obviously if you have to drive there, it's not as the same as flying. You're a lot more
Right.
tired and yeah. Are you doing any of the driving going there? Is your husband, your family?
It's pretty much my husband's going to do the driving.
How long
I
is
just
it
have
from
to. It's
Arkansas?
about from where we are. It's about 12 hours, and we're going to do it in 2 days.
Oh, okay. So that's,
Yeah.
yeah, I would do it in just the one sitting.
Yeah.
Which,
If we didn't have the kids, we would do it just in one shot. But with kids, you got to stop and go to the bathroom. You got to stop and eat.
yeah,
So a little bit
when
different.
when when we drove in the summer, when we went to see, we ended up at Disney as well, but we went to see local colleges around, in
Hmm.
Florida for my son, and we drove in just one sitting, but we made too many stops. Like it was the first time we were driving that far, so I don't think we kind of had a grasp on how long he was going to be. So, you stop, you go to the bathroom, you get a Coke, you just walk around the building a little bit. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah. And then at the end, we were like, we should have done all this like so much quicker.
And you have to stop again because you had the Coke earlier. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, but my idea is just to drive there and back. And if I
Hmm.
have to drive back, then I don't know. If I have to drive down there, I'll probably want to leave sooner than my flight would be. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I can get there, and the way back is not as, I guess, as complicated.
Right.
If I have to drive, this is my plan. I'm gonna grab my computer, and then if I have to stop on the way back in a hotel or something, I'm just gonna work from there, and then keep driving. That so I don't have to get another day off. Because that's
That makes
also,
sense.
yeah, that's also a concern. So how do you feel with your training after Little Rock?
Okay, I guess my legs have just been really heavy this week. I don't know what the deal is. I think maybe tapering next week is going to help a lot. Because mostly next week I'm throwing out my usual running schedule. It's a lot more walking and occasional running, and just you know take it down from 5 miles down to running like maybe just 30 minutes and give my legs a little bit of a break before I have to do a whole marathon. So hoping that'll be enough to recover.
Right. Are you feeling more tired now than you felt for Little Rock?
About the same,
Okay.
really.
So you did
So
really well with Little Rock. I mean, you did
I,
great. I mean, I was following you and he was like, "Oh my God, she's like pacing herself so well." And I mean, you did awesome.
I'm hoping to do a little bit better. I think my run walk strategy is a little bit better this time around. Trying to do 4 and 1 instead of 9 and 1, which 9 and 1 is good up to I found about 15 miles or so, and then it all just kind of falls apart.
I think 9-1 is I did it once on the treadmill at the beginning of the year
Mhm.
actually. And I think the 9 minutes towards like the mile 16, 17 is just long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and when I did Philadelphia did the 5-1, and that's a lot. I think it's a lot better. The shorter you make them, you necessarily
Mhm.
don't have to make them too short,
Mhm.
in my experience, but having enough embedded in there in terms of percentage. So if you do
Yeah.
4-1, like you're doing 20% of your time is walking, and then
Right.
your heart rate goes down. So I think 9 is a little bit, it's
Mhm.
aggressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of up there.
But I
Yeah.
figured, first marathon, go big or go home.
Oh yeah, you're gonna do it. Yeah, let's just
Let's just go. And that's what
just
that's what got me in 2016. Where I was just like, I don't know pacing, I don't know hydration. Let's just go.
yeah. That's another. I don't know if you've been stalking the weather. I've been stalking the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started yesterday
Mhm.
because I was on Instagram. People keep posting that it's going to be super hot. And so I was like, okay, well, I am so glad because I had two costumes that I was thinking of. One of them was
Right.
very,
Elaborate.
and not only
It
elaborate, it would
was
have been hot.
it was very warm. From
Yeah, it
what you
was
told me,
warm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was warm. So I am glad I'm on my second option because my hair is going to be out of my face. It's just going to be a
Right.
different vibe. Because it seems like we could actually get 80 degrees. And that's, to
Mhm.
me, that's, I don't do well when it gets, well, no, I don't think anybody is prepared for that kind
Yeah.
of heat.
Well, the good news is we start so early that maybe we won't hit those upper temperatures. We will hit the humidity though, which
Right.
is that I just running in that much humidity, I just feel gross the whole time.
Yeah.
All I can think about is when this is over, I'm taking a shower. That's all I can think the entire time is I need a shower.
We have Dan here.
Hey, Dan.
Hi, Dan. Okay. Hi, how are you?
Dan's
He's
doing a lot of
training.
training runs too.
Oh, yeah. He's training for another 50. Is it a 50K, Dan? Or is it a 50 miler? I don't know. I think
Either
it might
way,
be.
more than I'd
It's a
ever run.
lot.
Mhm.
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know how people, I mean, people do it, and Dan is prepared for that. I mean,
Yeah.
he likes
He's
running
he's been
long
working towards
distance.
it for a while. He can
Yeah, and
do
he did
this.
it last year. So I think he's going for like under 10 hours or something like that.
That's
So it's
awesome.
got to be 50. It's got to be a 50 miler. Now he's gonna come back and say no, it's 50, and he's like, oh, what's the incline of that thing? Because the incline when you're doing trail running, that's what gets you. So in terms of, are you all set with your um, costume, with your own costume?
Yes, and I have done a test run in it. Granted, it was on a treadmill, but I've run in it for 18 miles and no problems. There's one spot that may chafe, and that's just because it's a spot on my sports bra that almost always chafes. So as long as I lube it up beforehand, I'm good.
Right. I haven't tried mine yet because I can't. It's been really cold, and I can't use it outside because
Yeah.
I would be freezing. I mean, tremble's broken. They're not fixing it till the third, January 3rd. So it's broken, and it is not. It's functional, but the speed does not stay constant because the sensor is malfunctioning.
Right. Yeah.
So you might be doing 6 miles an hour, and then it stops, and it just for like, I don't know, 10 seconds goes to 4. So
Hmm.
you could actually break your neck. So I don't think it's worth it so close to a marathon. So
Yeah.
I chose
See,
not to use
my treadmill, it tracks me as going so much slower than I actually am, like with my watch and everything. So it's like my treadmill says I'm going one speed, and I know like from if I turn on like my Nike Plus on in my pocket, then it says I'm going another speed, and then my watch says I'm going an even slower speed. And I'm like, I'm going with Nike because it's probably the closest. But I'm
it. It's
like,
probably right.
yeah, but like my watch has me going like 30 seconds to 45 seconds per mile slower than I actually am. So it just takes forever for my watch to click over and say, okay, you did 18 miles. So I'm hoping that's not going to be too much of a problem when I'm actually out on a road.
Right. So in terms of what you're gonna fuel, have you given some thought? Like, what would you do? I guess I, in my opinion, I'm gonna have. Well, number one, I'm gonna eat as much as they give me on the race. I heard they had
Yeah.
bananas, so I'm gonna grab the banana.
Hmm.
I'm just
Oh,
gonna
hey,
eat.
Paul's here. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. If they give me bananas and food, I'm just gonna take them. But what about you?
Yeah, several stops along the way. They have bananas and oranges, along with Powerade, I believe, is a sponsor. So they'll have Powerade. Usually, it's like the clear cherry is what they have, and then they have water. And then there's a couple of spots where in the past they have had sports beans, which is what I use. But in the off chance that maybe sports beans is not going to be there this year, I'm bringing my own. If it turns out that they are going to be on course, then I'll leave them behind and I'll carry the applesauce packets that I usually carry with me. And so I'll alternate between those.
Right. I was thinking if it gets very, very hot, um, because I am a heavy salty sweater,
Hmm,
I
me too.
think I would bring my salt stick. I have, I bought a huge thing, a huge container, and I still
Hmm.
have a lot left. So I think I would bring them on me. And they're so tiny. You can
Hmm.
put them, like
Yeah.
they don't take a lot of space. So I think I might want to take them as I am running because the heat is, to me, is concerning. That's what got me when I ran Marine Corps Marathon. I was so dehydrated and yeah. So,
And I also have to keep track of. I alternate between Powerade and water at aid stations. So I have to remember, okay, what did I have last time? I had Powerade last time, so water this time. And then sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I am absolutely dying. I need extra Powerade this time. I don't care what I had last time. I need Powerade this time.
right. I don't think I've ever drank Powerade, to be honest with you. So I should start practicing. I got a new bottle. So I bought
Ooh.
a new bottle. I had one that I really liked and I lost it. This is weird. I don't know what I did with it the weekend of New York City Marathon.
Hmm.
Because I was walking around with it in my hand. I think I just put it somewhere and left it there.
Which I'm sure you're
So
not the only person in New York that did that.
I am sure, but it was like I can't find. It was like a Swedish brand, and it was like a really cool design, and they had like flowers. I mean, it was really cool, and I can't find it again. Not on
Hmm.
Amazon, not anywhere. So I just got this one at my
See,
local
that
grocery
happened with
store.
me. I had a have like a 40-ounce bottle that vacuum sealed. I absolutely love it. Can't find it on Amazon anymore.
It's really interesting how I don't think the brands go bankrupt or anything. It's just that Amazon decides not to, or they decide not to go on Amazon.
Right.
So I think they still exist, but they're probably. I mean, this was a Swedish brand. It was called Mamo,
Hmm.
Mamo, I
Hmm.
think it was. I might be misspelling. It had the two dots on top of the A or the O.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I was looking everywhere and I could not find it. So
There were dots somewhere.
yeah, yeah. So Paul's saying I bring my liquid and gels. Not that it helped in my last race. LOL. Yeah. Well,
You still
actually,
ran
Paul.
that way faster than I will ever run a
Oh yeah,
marathon, Paul.
yeah, but it was for him. It was another like super hot race, and
Yeah.
that's it affects you more than you think it does. Just that heat and that
It helps
producing.
that this whole last week, the weather has been close to what it's going to be in Florida. It's been about 70 to
Warm.
75 degrees and super humid all week. So I've been running in that. So I'm like, okay, this is what that feels like again. Okay, I remember now.
I don't think it's gonna. It's getting colder here. Like it's not getting warmer.
Yeah, it's not
And
going to
it's
get
gonna be
cold
cold.
until this weekend.
We might even get snow before I have to fly, which is going to be interesting. I'm going to
Wow.
have my puffy jacket, getting on the plane and then getting there just with shorts and t-shirt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am so excited though. Yeah, I'm
That is
beyond
another
myself.
thing that I'm going to have to watch that whole week leading up to the marathon is just making sure that I'm hydrating like crazy just to be ready. Because I know if it's going to be that humid, I'm going to sweat it all out in the first 5 miles. So I've got to make sure I'm hydrating really well.
Yeah, you have to start. I would say I usually try to hydrate like 2 days before, just stay on top of it, like drink as much
Hmm.
water as it possibly, can.
Yeah.
But for this, and even, we're going to be out, like you're outside,
Hmm.
you're on home. So it's much harder to keep track of you know, your
Yeah.
thirst and all that just because you're busy. So yeah, so that's why I'm starting now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what are your plans for like the dinner before and all that? Are you gonna carb load? Or are you
Uh,
gonna start carb loading before? I'm gonna start like way before. I'll start the
yeah.
week off because again,
That's
I'm
what I
gonna be
do
out.
is
So
I'll start slowly increasing carbs all the way up to, but I don't really do a huge carb load before, just because it just feels really heavy on my stomach the next day.
I have a book. It's from Runner's World. It's the big book of the marathon and half marathon training,
Hmm.
and it gives you like a guideline of how many grams of carbs you have to eat leading into a marathon,
Right.
given your weight. And I think for me, I want to say it was 350 grams of carbs
Hmm.
the week leading into, which is a tremendous amount. And I did it once. I think I did it for Philadelphia. I was so full constantly because the amount of like, I guess we're not used to eating that many carbs. I mean, if
Right.
a full dish of pasta is probably like 100 or something like that. So it was like constantly like bread, pasta, rice, and I felt so full. But then, in my opinion, for how much I had trained for that marathon, I did really well. Like I did better than I thought. So there's something to be said for carb loading.
And see, since I have family, like my parents, they'll come over to eat and stuff like that. And so they're both diabetic. And I'm so used to keeping everything so low carb and high protein that it's like, it
Right.
seems like any increase in carbs, I definitely notice. So
Right.
that's something yeah, I kind of have to think through.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring my oats and my protein powder. Like I bring a couple like Tupperwares, tiny Tupperwares, and just bring them with me. Hopefully they don't think the oats are anthrax or anything like that when I board the plane, because that could be. Yeah, and then just yeah, eat them like as I go. Like yeah, I might just bring a pack, like a sealed pack, now that I'm thinking about this. Because I don't take the full oats. I find that it's easier to digest when you have the oat brand, the ones that
Hmm.
are like in tiny little, like they grind them.
Yeah.
It's much easier to digest. The other ones are heavier on your stomach. So Paul's saying, your boss so lucky to have cold weather. I dream of it. Well, we can send you a little bit of it. I may visit up north someday to feel a chill again. It's so hard to run when it's cold, though, like when it's truly cold. I've been experimenting with carb loading with liquids pre-race, avoiding that bloat. The bloat is,
Hmm.
yeah, that's what makes you feel, I think. I don't think you're full as much as you're heavy. You feel like
Hmm.
heavy moving around the house and, just going about with your life. It's just like,
Yeah, I've found that an easy way to get some extra carbs in is to make myself a shake with Tailwind and the Tailwind recovery and stuff like that. So that helps. It's those extra carbs,
and tailwind is
and yeah.
awesome. I don't know
Oh yeah.
really, like, it's a mystery how it is possible that because I have had it after, like long runs and races, and it's true that it just, you recover so much faster. So it's
Oh yeah.
it's just it's amazing how because if you look at the ingredients, those ingredients are in other shakes. So there's
Hmm.
nothing groundbreaking there. But I guess it's the time the way that they put them together, like the
Yeah.
amount that they put there. I don't know. It's just like it's
And
amazing how well it works.
I don't know if you got like the email from them recently that they were all like, "We are so sorry. We're going to have to increase prices on stuff." And I was like, "Oh man, how bad could it be?" And I looked and it was like, "We're going to increase by $1 here." I'm like, "Seriously? That's it? I will gladly pay $1 more. That is not a problem."
Yeah, yeah, it's such a fantastic product, but it does, if you use it, it's like anything. Running is an expensive.
Yeah.
You would think it's not, but it is an expensive
People
sport.
are always like confused and I'm like, "Yeah, I have to spend so much money on this." And they're like, "I thought running was cheap." I'm like, "It starts out that way." But
It
the more
it
you get into it.
if you are a recreational runner and you just run like 3 miles here and there,
Mhm.
obviously you don't need the gels, you don't need all these recovery products, you don't need the power, the Gatorade, the liquid
Mhm.
IV, the salt stick, you don't need any of that.
You don't need a
And you also
tech, you don't need race entry.
right, right. But if you start like running serious miles, then obviously you need to replace your shoes much quicker too.
Right.
So. So how many miles have you
That's
been
good.
running lately?
Oh, let's see. I usually do, between running and walking, I do about 6 miles a day. I do maybe 8 to 10 on Tuesdays, and then between 10 and 20 on my long run days. So just kind
Right,
of depends on what I'm doing that week.
right. I've been doing a lot of miles this year. So I had my Strava, you know how Strava summarizes your year.
Hmm.
Um, I have run like 40% more miles than last year. That is serious.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I have in kilometers, it's like 2,900 kilometers, which is,
Wow.
I guess it's almost 2,000 miles, like 1,900 miles, something like that, right? Or 1,800 miles. Yeah, it's a lot of miles. A lot
Yeah,
in
I
shoes, a
always
lot of
do.
money in shoes.
I always do the Run the Year challenge with Run the Edge. And I have an unboxing video coming out for the 2022 stuff that I just got in the mail. But, it's you run whatever the year is, that's how many miles you do over the course of the year. And I usually hit that around September. So I hit 2021 miles in September.
So that's a
I've
lot of
been
miles
going
too,
since then. Yeah.
because the average runner doesn't run that, like people, I think because we run, and there's people who run obviously a lot more than we do.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
Because I love
that's
I love
supposed
like
to,
runners like Matt that are like, well, I just went out for a 10-mile run today. I'm like, dude, that is my weekend long run. Okay.
but he runs so much faster though that it's
He
like if
does.
I had to do 10 miles every day, I would have to sleep less.
If I were as tall as half of the runners that I watch, I think I would be able to run faster.
That is true. Look, like their stride length is
Yeah.
so much longer. Yeah, yeah. If I, like mine is getting longer. It used to be tiny, and when I look at Garmin, it's like it's getting longer. But still, yeah, you're right. I mean, they just advance so much faster. They cover a lot more. Um, I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was gonna say. Oh yes, there's like people usually don't run as much as we run.
Right.
Like if you go on people's Stravas, like because sometimes I stalk other people's Stravas, it's like, oh wow, like like, with you and I are truly like up there, like we're moderate, you know,
Yeah.
moderately, yeah, busy runners. So when you
Every
started
once
running,
in a while, I'm like, I'm not turning on Strava. I'm tired.
I do miss, like, and now I have it like that everything connects. So sometimes
Mhm.
I actually do double and I have to delete one of them, well, one of them because my Fitbit is connected and my Garmin is as well.
Right.
So I have to go in and delete one of them. So, so when you started running, did you think you were going to be running this much? I
I
didn't.
don't know. I
I
knew eventually I wanted to do a marathon. That was always in the back of my mind that I wanted to do a marathon. But to be running like every day, I never really thought I would do. But here we are.
I never thought I would be. Well, first of all, I never thought. So I started because of just a dare with my brother. So I didn't,
Mhm.
I did it because he was running. I was running. We just said, okay, let's do this 10K. But I really didn't know till I ran that race that I was going to keep running.
Mhm.
Like, because when I started running, to me, I just did it because of sheer, like perseverance. Like I
Yeah.
promised my brother I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it. But when I started running, I was in so much like I was I was coming, it was interesting because I had been the year prior to me starting running, I had been so sedentary. I was
Mhm.
working in an office that was far from home. I had to drive there, and it was like an hour and 15 minutes driving each
Mhm.
way. And then I would be in the office, super busy. I didn't have time to leave my desk for anything, just to go to the bathroom. I would eat in my desk. So I was sitting down legit probably 15 or 16 hours a day and then sleeping. And so I was coming off of this super sedentary job. And then I started running. I was so
Right.
sore the first 3 to 4 weeks. Like seriously, like I was sore everywhere. Like I had so much. It was from exercising, from not having been. So I didn't think. I told my brother, I'm doing this because of you, but I'm not keeping this up. Like there's no way. I mean, I'm hurting too much. I remember being in bed at night and having like my toes hurting,
Hmm.
which is like, how is that even possible? And it was from, just from, obviously from running, from the,
Right.
propelling yourself forward, like my toes would hurt. It was everywhere. So I didn't think, but then, things got a lot easier. And
It
then
gets easier eventually.
something clicked. It was like, I went for a long run. I'll never forget. It was 7 kilometers, which is nothing. 7 kilometers is like 4.2 miles. I went to that. I went out and then I came back and I laid down, and I opened the door and I laid down on the ground, on the, like, just there in the foyer in the house. And my husband came thinking I was having like a heart attack or something, because I was like, he was like, "Do you need anything? Do you need water? Like, what's going on? Do we need to call an ambulance?" I was like, "No, I'm just dying. Like, oh my God, I'm so tired." And like legit, it was like, I thought I'm doing this and then that's it. But then
Yeah.
after that, it just clicked. Things got easier. Like that 7 kilometer, that 4.1 mile or 4.2 mile run, that changed everything. I was super
Mhm.
tired. And then I just, after that, it was like, I don't know, it felt so much easier. And then they just
That's
kept
like,
running.
for me, it was after I think 4 years of running, and I ran my first sub 35K just in a training run. And I was just like, I did it. I actually did it.
There's
I
something
was,
to be said when you go
oh,
from these milestones. There's nothing in number 35, but you feel
right.
still happy when it's like under 35 or under 40 or under
Mhm.
30. It's like, it's that random number that in your mind is like, oh my God, this is such a huge achievement. After I ran that 10K, I just could not stop. I signed up for like 3 or 4 or 5Ks, like in a row,
Mhm.
like because I really
Yeah.
wanted to just, yeah, keep running. And yeah, I was, to me, that was like, so I went from not knowing, from knowing 100% I was not going to continue running,
Mhm.
to just saying, okay, I'm going to sign up for a half, and then I'm going to sign up for a
Mhm.
marathon, and then here we are.
Right.
Let me start a YouTube channel. Yeah. And now, for example, for all these COVID, 2020 and 2021, if it hadn't been for running, I think it would have gone bananas. Like, I
Oh,
would have
yeah.
gone crazy.
Being able to get out and run really made a huge difference.
And then, there were, like, not here in the United States, but in Europe, for example, where my parents live in Madrid, they were at
Mhm.
the very beginning, when they were in lockdown, you could only leave your house if you were actually a runner, a cyclist, that you had to be,
Mhm.
not that they were like ask, like, but you
Yeah.
had to, like,
You
my
had to
parents
be
could not
out
go
for a
out with,
purpose. Yeah.
in jeans or something, just go start running and say, oh, we're training, like, we're runners. No, that's not how it works. So it was you would only be able to go out, to walk your dog. That was one of the excuses, like to the grocery store, to the doctor, um, and then, and to if you were like
To
a
exercise. Yeah.
runner, yeah, to exercise, because you were like someone who exercises usually. So
Yeah.
yeah, my parents, my dad used to say that they they live in a townhouse, so they would look through the window and they would see the same dog with different people walking. He was like, we
Everybody
need.
needs a trip outside.
My dad was like, we need to ask who that dog belongs to, so that we can walk the dog. Like, the dog, I'm sure the dog was very happy. The same dog going around. Um, so yeah, so then after this, what is your, do you have like, I know you did a video
Um,
on resolutions and
mhm.
things like that, but what is something you would like to?
I'm working on, after I recover from the marathon, I'm going to work on my half marathon time and do some more trail running. So I'd like to do some more trail races.
Nice.
So those are my two big things that I'm going to work on.
Yeah, I do want to focus on a half marathon and try and just, yeah, get
Mhm.
faster that way. Because I do think when I was trying to qualify for Boston, which was not possible because I got injured twice this year. So I got sidetracked. Um, but I think one of the things I have to do first is just focus on getting that half marathon
Mhm.
faster, and then build on that to get to that marathon time. I mean, there's people who get to qualify for Boston without getting faster in a half, but
Hmm.
I think for me that's going to be, like, how do you eat an elephant in small chunks? I think I need to
Hmm.
do that first because I still need to, bring down my time like 15 minutes or something to qualify for Boston. So it's kind of, yeah, it's a huge, yeah.
Paul's leaving. Bye, Paul.
Oh, he's going to do some speed work.
And we may have to actually move that uh, live stream on Brian's channel because we'll both be in Florida, or at least I will be
Oh,
in Florida.
I once because we do it on Tuesdays, right? We do it on
Or
Tuesdays or do we
Thursdays.
do it on Thursdays? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So we do it on Thursdays. I'm flying Friday morning, but if you're not
Okay.
available, we should just move it to the next week. When are you going to
So
be
I mean,
back home?
you could all do it without me, but I'll be
No, we'll
back.
wait for you.
I'll be back Monday night
So same as
because
me.
we're leaving right after the marathon. Like, well, hopefully they'll let me take a shower first, but then we're leaving.
That's true. Because that helps with the recovery as well. When the warmth. Yeah. And then a little bit of cold water. I always do that, like
I'll
super
be
hot shower and then like
like
cold
you all do
water.
not want to smell me after a marathon driving all the way home. I was like,
Oh,
no.
you would be pretty miserable.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah,
I,
y'all
yeah,
gotta let me shower.
yeah. I did it once and it was not obviously that long because it was from Washington, D.C. to back home,
Hmm.
which was 4 hours and I was so miserable. Yeah. You need
Yeah,
to move. Like, yeah.
there's been several times when I've had to drive myself home several hours right after a race. It's not fun.
Yeah. I mean, the more you move, the better you feel later.
Yeah.
The quicker you start like walking and moving around and all that. So,
The good news is I'll have a massage gun with me, so that'll
oh,
help. Yeah,
I can't bring it with me if I'm flying.
right.
But massage guns help out a lot, actually. I mean,
Hmm.
you would think the whole concept of a massage gun is not that revolutionary. It's just a
Right.
percussion thing, but it just helps your muscles. It's so satisfying to use it.
Hmm.
My husband's upstairs. He's obsessed with ours, like obsessed. He's like he uses it at least once a day on his back.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like obsessed. Yeah. He was like, I don't see you using it that much. I'm like, you have it in like we need another one. Like,
Uh,
yeah, they help out a lot. But now I'm staying, so I'm staying all of Sunday and then
mhm.
I'm flying Monday morning. And we're going to the parks. So I'll be in
Ah,
Hollywood Studios. Yeah.
nice.
So I wanted to ask you something in your experience. So I wanted on Saturday to
Hmm.
go to um, be a spectator
Hmm.
in Magic Kingdom. Do you know if there's like buses from the hotels to that are not for runners? Because I'm not running the half, but I want to cheer on the people who are running the half.
I'm not really sure. I I don't know if spectators can get on the runner buses.
The runner
Sometimes,
buses stop, I think, at like 4:30. I think
yeah.
that's the last, or 4, something like that in the morning. So I was just trying to determine if I have to like get on an Uber and get there, or if there's a bus or something that I can take. I mean, it would make sense that there's buses because people don't. I mean, most people go with like friends, family, and
Hmm.
the family members are not running. So how do the family members get there if there are no buses to like Magic Kingdom?
Yeah,
How do people
I
get there?
know. Let's see. I know that they have like if you're doing cheer squad. Um, but I don't. Let's see. Were they doing cheer squad this year? I
I
don't
don't
know if
think
they
they were doing
cut
Cheer
that this
Squad.
year. Yeah, I think
I
they
don't.
cut it this year for COVID reasons.
Yeah,
So
that's a whole other conversation. The COVID. I feel like they're not really taking a lot of precautions with COVID.
yeah,
It's weird for Disney. This is really weird
yeah.
because they've been so on the conservative side of things with this, like
Hmm.
masking longer than any other amusement park. They're still masking, like they're still
Hmm.
asking for you to mask indoors. Um, But then for the race, there's no masks, no vaccine. Like when I ran New York City, we needed to have
Either the
masks
vaccine or the test. Yeah.
or the test, but mask,
Hmm.
everybody had to be masked at the start
Hmm.
line. So, and then to go to the expo, you needed your vaccination card or your test or
Right.
negative test. And you needed to show it. Like we were, and you could not bring anybody with you. So,
Right.
I mean, I went with a friend because she was running it too. So,
Ooh,
yeah.
thunder.
Oh, is that thunder? Wow, I thought
Uh-huh.
maybe someone was moving furniture around.
It's thunder. So if I disappear, it means the power got knocked out.
I have, what do you need, baby? Well, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. Okay. Okay. Go. Go. I'm sorry
But
about
it's
that.
lunchtime.
No, he wants to play the PlayStation, and we have the PlayStation right here.
Womp
So
womp.
this is a cave. Yeah, so he plays, he has his all his stuff down here,
Oh,
which
okay.
is I'm here in a little corner of the room. We have great lighting here. I mean, it's the setup is super nice, which is why I film here most of the times. And he made me lost. I lost my train of
Oh, yeah,
thought.
we were talking about COVID precautions.
Oh yes, the COVID precautions. So I find it like fascinating that they are not enforcing anything. Like you can go to the expo even if you're not a runner.
Hmm.
Um, they are not asking for masks. It's. I'm gonna wear mine. I'm
Oh, yeah,
boosted.
me
I,
too.
I'm gonna wear mine. I don't. I've been wearing it around here, and some stores ask for the mask, others don't. So I don't care what people say.
It's, with
I
me,
just
it's just pretty much whenever I'm out in public, I'm in a mask.
right. Yeah. I mean, I am unless I'm like outside. I wear it. So
Mhm.
it's to me it's fascinating that they are not. They just sort of. I don't know. I guess it's because it's around Disney. It's not really the same. It's not Disney Disney. It's around
Right.
Disney.
And
So.
and it's all, I guess they figure it's all outdoors. So
Yeah, but
with
if you're
the
like like if you're too close with other people,
mhm.
I mean someone sneezes and you don't necessarily have to like if you have an allergy and you sneeze and you are like incubating something, you could
Mhm.
pass it along.
Oh, yeah.
So not necessarily on purpose. So
So, yeah, I'll probably be in a mask until I cross the start line.
oh, me too. Yeah. And then in the plane I'm gonna double mask. I'm not
Oh, yeah, definitely.
yeah. It's I mean, you have to make an effort because when you double mask over time, it's like you can't breathe. It's like it feels so claustrophobic. But I watched the news this morning. There was a woman who tested. I don't know how because I didn't catch the beginning of the clip, but
Mhm.
she actually learned that she was positive. I guess she saw it on her phone or something. She learned she was positive for COVID and went to. They were like already like up in the air, or I don't know how,
Huh.
but she went to the bathroom and stayed in the bathroom. Notified the flight attendant and said, "I
Hmm.
just learned that I tested positive for COVID. I'm gonna lock myself in the bathroom." And she was like 3 hours locked in the bathroom
Wow.
so she would not spread it to anybody else.
Hey, she was being responsible, so
She was, I mean, she didn't have
good
to say
deal.
anything. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
she was like, they actually interviewed her and she was like, I thought that was a thing to say. But I just don't know how it's possible that you don't know boarding the plane that you're positive. When
Mhm.
you are on the plane, that's kind of, it's a weird situation. So,
Yeah, there's a YouTuber that I watch, one of the major ones that came from England to LA, tested when he left, tested when he got there, tested 3 more times, wore a mask everywhere. The day he was supposed to get on the plane, tested positive. No idea where he got it.
you can get it anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
all
He
you
was
have to
just
do is just, yeah, walk through the air that where someone else sneezed and
mhm.
just left yeah. I mean, it's you can get it anywhere, really.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
I got it, and it was like, where did I get it? I wasn't going anywhere. The only place I went to was my son's high school. I wore a mask, and I wore one of those heavy duty masks
Hmm.
because it was it was like kind of not the beginning, but it was in October.
Hmm. I
So
remember that.
we
Yeah.
were still there were no vaccines, nothing, and you didn't. There were a lot of people dying and getting very sick from
Mhm.
it. So I was like extra cautious, and I mean, I can't, mine was super, super mild, but I probably patched something. Funny thing is, I got it in October, and then after that, I learned of a lot of people who had been in the building who got it too. So it was
Wow.
somewhere. It was somewhere. Like I bet you someone touched something, and it has to be a place that a lot of people touch, but not necessarily gets sanitized. So
Yeah.
maybe like like the thing to turn on and off the lights or
Yeah.
something,
Could have been a doorknob. It could have been
a
anything.
doorknob,
Yeah.
anything, any high traffic. Yeah. And it was interesting because even with the when we had to get into the building, they had a one of those QR codes that you
Hmm.
have to with your phone, and you have to put in your name in case there's someone who gets sick around the time you're there, they can notify you. So
Right.
even with all of that, it went under, but that was
Hmm.
the only place that I think I could have gotten it, because at the grocery store, I was like sanitizing like crazy. So it's, I don't know, it's just one of those, you can get it anywhere.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I mean, obviously, the more precautions you take, at least you have that peace of mind that you did
Oh
everything
yeah.
you could.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
That's, usually what I think. It's like, well, I'm doing what I can. If I still
Yeah.
get it, then. And there's people who are getting it twice. I have two cousins
Hmm.
in Spain. They got it they're both in Spain, but they both got it in, I want it early on, like March or April last year,
Hmm.
2020. And then got the vaccines. They have the two vaccines. They're not boosted yet, but they have the two vaccines, and then both of them have it right now.
Hmm.
So they got it twice, and they're double vaccinated. So you can still get it. You had the booster, right? You got it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I got it recently. Like I got it about a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, it's better not to leave anything to chance.
Oh yeah. Definitely
So
cover all your bases.
we have someone who's a new Stephen Gardner. I
Hi,
I need
Stephen.
this one. Hi, Stephen. I don't know what that means. Can you read that?
Nope.
I don't know. See, maybe he was just, it's possible that he was just watching and on his phone and typed on accident. Like
Who knows?
that's possible what happened. So I see a lot of people. Well, I see people watching right now. If you guys have any questions, you can leave us a comment. I don't know if the people who are there are running the Walt Disney World Marathon themselves. And if you are, please, well, I don't know about you, but if you guys are in Disney, when we are in Disney, don't be a stranger and say hello.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get people like this has happened to me recently. Like people look at you and you know that they know you,
Hmm.
but they don't say anything. It's like, it's
That
just,
happened at Little Rock because remember, I thought I saw Susan. I was just like, I'm not going to say anything in case it's not actually her. And then
yeah.
later, Lori's like, yeah, she was there. It's like, okay,
It's
it
only
was her.
this is interesting because it's only happened to me that someone actually said, "Hey, you're the one with the YouTube channel." Like they didn't remember my name, but they actually said, "Hey, I know you. You have a YouTube channel." And I was like, "Yeah!" He's so happy.
That's me.
Yeah, I was running, so I could not stop and say hello, which was, but yeah, but I've had people like look at me, like even locally, like I,
Mhm.
it's possible that they, watch the channel, they look at me, but they don't say anything. And it's just like, well, yeah, it's, say something, say
Yeah,
hello, yeah,
just say
yeah,
hi.
yeah. So are you gonna do parks all the days that you're there, or are you gonna take it easy?
Mostly taking it easy, especially the day before. Saturday, we're just pretty much taking a day off. I think Friday is probably the only day that we're going to do any parks. We may start the day with the studios, and then if we can get into Magic Kingdom halfway through the day, if they're not at capacity, then we'll head over there because that's the one that the kids really, really want to go to.
Right, right. I haven't been to Magic Kingdom in a long time. So my plan is, I'm gonna do a video on this, but my plan is to do Epcot Saturday.
Hmm.
My plan is to cheer on the half marathoners
Hmm.
Saturday morning and then go to Epcot and then just head home, go back to the hotel sooner so that I can go to bed early and all that. So, but yeah, Epcot Saturday and then Hollywood Studios on Sunday. So,
Cool.
yeah, my friend, the friend that I am, we're sharing a hotel room. She hasn't been in Hollywood Studios in a while,
Mhm.
so she hasn't seen Rise of the Resistance. I can't wait to ride it
Ooh.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
Galaxy's Edge is just amazing.
it is. It's just so immersive, and but the thing is, once you get to the hotel, you get to the hotel and all that. It's gonna be late. It's gonna be probably like 2 p.m. or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that there's not a lot of people Sunday afternoon.
Mhm.
I hope there's not because I'm just hoping that people chill after the marathon. The people who run it, like, if it's done the marathon or goofy or dopey, like the
Right.
challenges. Hopefully they're tired and they don't hit the parks because otherwise we're going to be waiting in lines for a long time. And that's that. I only have 2 days, so I only have Saturday and
Right.
Sunday really. So
And this will be, pretty much from Thanksgiving until the end of marathon weekend. They're at their highest capacity that they can possibly take. So, as long as you know that you're going to be waiting in line for pretty much anything, then, you know, it's easy to deal with. You just kind of have to accept that there's going to be people.
right, the good thing of you know and I don't know if my friend would go with this. We'll have to see it. But if you can do a couple of rides in the single rider,
Hmm.
then you knock off. Like that's what we did when we went in the summer. We went over Labor Day weekend, so it was like
Right.
as packed
Real
as
busy.
it was really really busy. But what we did is we did as much as we could. So
Hmm.
you just basically skip the line. So we did the Millennium Falcon, right? The Smugglers
Hmm.
Run
Yeah.
4 or 5 times because we
That
did
one's
it on
so
the
fun.
single rider. Yeah, yeah. And they're all super, super fun. So yeah.
I always ride Gunner on Smuggler's Run.
Oh, I did it. So this is funny. My son and my husband, they went to do the Aerosmith, the roller coaster.
Hmm.
I'm not a super huge fan of roller coaster, so they went to do that one, and then I said I'm just gonna do it on the single rider. So we had done it, the three of us together, and then my husband and my son. Actually, no, we hadn't done it. So I hit there myself, and when I'm waiting in line on the single rider, they put me as a pilot, which is weird because when you are a single rider, they just fill in whatever spot they have. So
Right.
the guy there said, "You're a pilot." I was like, "Sure," and it was so amazing. It's so much better than being a gunner or the other one. They have two other positions.
Right.
The engineer, I think it is, or something. I don't know
Hmm.
what the other position is. But then we did it again and again and again and again, and we never, yeah, I was never pilot again. So, but yeah, there's a huge difference. It's so because of you're in the cabin, so you are like fully immersed.
Right.
Whereas if you're in the back pushing the buttons, it's not as immersive. So, yeah, the pilot makes the whole the whole experience is completely different. Cool. So this was good. Guys,
Yeah.
if you're watching, and I'll put the link below, but follow Heather. If you see us in the parks, say something. Heather you and I need to connect to the corrals or somewhere. We need to
Yeah,
go out. But
definitely.
yeah, I think probably you're not doing the half, right? You're
No,
just doing the marathon, and
just
your family's
just
doing
doing
the
the full.
5K.
Yes.
So you're not going to be around. Okay, so Saturday is not an option. I'll see you Sunday then.
Okay.
I'll text you when we're in the corrals.
Everybody, feel free to drop by my channel. Um, Trying to get to
Running Geek
300
Girl.
subscribers,
Yes.
and I've got some more stuff coming up in the next month, including the race report from this marathon that we're talking about today, and my Run the USA series. We're moving on to races in Georgia, so be on the lookout for that.
Yep, and that series she's doing is pretty cool because she's choosing the best races in every state, and she's doing them in order, in alphabetical order. So you just did California, which was a cool one. You did 2 episodes in California, I think.
I did. I had two episodes because I had so many people suggesting races that I had to split it up into two. So,
Right, right. And California is a great state. That's on my bucket list. Big Sur or CIM, one of those big
oh,
races I would
definitely,
like
yeah.
to do. LA Marathon, that's another one. But I think I would rather do like CIM
Mhm.
CIM is all downhill. Like it has hills up and
Yeah.
down, but the net is downhill. So
Yeah.
yeah,
CIM is good if you want a PR.
yeah. It's, although it has to be hard as well, I think, because it does have uphills. It's just that the net is downhill.
Hey,
Yeah.
Michael.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Michael. You're right, Brett, at the end.
But that's
Very
okay.
cool. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to Heather's channel. It's Running Geek Girl altogether. If you go on YouTube and you put Running Geek Girl, she's gonna show up there. So, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe as well and give this video a thumbs up because that
Yeah, if
helps
you're
the
not subscribed to
algorithm.
Susie, what are you doing here? Come on. Hit
Sometimes the
subscribe.
algorithm, yeah, sometimes the algorithm, yeah, suggests, creators that you're not subscribed to. So, okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining. Thanks, Heather. Happy New Year. I'll see you
Happy
in
New Year,
Disney.
guys.
Bye bye.